And it's just so fun to me and I get so excited. Whereas like the normal person would be like, why are you so obsessed right now?
Yeah, well, something about it really like speaks to your soul, which is
It
wonderful.
really does. It really does.
I don't know, that shirt behind you, the Nirvana, what would that retail at?
I sold this one for $125.
What?
Wow.
So, yeah.
Okay, I was not expecting that. I thought you were gonna say 30, 40, maybe 50. Maybe that'll be your business headquarters when you go full time with this thing.
Stop. I would love that. I would love to live at the beach.
Almost every fashion trend that's happened so far has also happened earlier on. Like, now we are seeing Y2K come back around and the 90s come back around. So all those clothes are just coming back.
A piece of advice that I would have for fellow creators would be to just capture all of the elements about what makes your brand unique. Because when you switch your mindset to what part of the process can I share with everyone else online, it becomes much easier to stay consistent and create meaningful content.
Hey everyone, I'm Liz, Student Made's digital marketing strategist, and you're listening to our Top Brands episode featuring creative founders from James Madison University and Winthrop University. I'm so excited to share what I love most about these brands with you all today.
Alrighty, thank you everyone so much for being here today. We are giving you a chance to not only hear what we love about two awesome student businesses around the country, but you'll also hear from the creators of the brands themselves, including what inspired them to start their business, what they believe makes their brand stand out, and lessons they've learned along the way in all the different areas involved in being a creative entrepreneur on campus.
Hi everyone, my name is Brynn. I'm a senior hospitality management student at James Madison University, and my business is Shells by Brynn. So I make handmade little decoupage trinket dishes and a bunch of other shell creations.
Yeah, I'm Landon. I'm a junior at Winthrop University. I'm currently studying accounting, and my business is Land O'Lakes Vintage. So basically, I go out, thrift clothing.
Perfect. Reminds me of some butter. It goes by a similar name. So our first brand that really stood out to us this month, Shells by Brynn. She's got a craft that's requires a very delicate touch and a lot of patience. And I know that personally. I've tried this decoupage shell thing back in quarantine as a boredom project. And I know the frustration when you're like almost done with that shell and you've done it like 99% perfect and then a little bit of paper rips and you feel like you got to start all over again. So also kind of a funny story as I was preparing for this episode and thinking back, like what experience do I have with these? I'm like, I know there's something else. Our wedding, what do you call it? Like guest favor was one of these shells. And we found this creator actually in Charleston here selling in a market, like the downtown Charleston market, who does these. And she did one of a magnolia flower. And we were getting married in May a couple years ago. And so it was Lindsay's mom, actually, my wife's mom, kind of stopped this woman and was like, hey, have you ever done like a bulk order of these things? Like, what's the most you've ever done? And she was like, I think I've done like 25 was the most. And she's like, how do you feel about doing 120? And this woman was like flabbergasted, like I've never done anything close to that. And so it turns out they all came out amazing. And I wish I had it right next to me to show you. But it's a magnolia flower, and she did like gold painting around the edge. And I guess afterwards she was like, I am never doing that ever again. Like it was so stressful for her to make 120. I guess she made like 150, or I forget what she said exactly, but to get the best 120 because she was such a perfectionist about it. And she was like, that was great. I finished it, but I'm never doing a bulk order like that ever again, because she's like, it took me so long. So anyway, that's just a little background on our decoupage shell experience personally. But of course, I hope yours is a little more positive. Definitely curious to learn more about it, how you got into it from Liz. Liz is going to be leading these episodes mostly today, being our branding and marketing expert.
Yeah. Shells by Brynn is all about creating handmade seashell trinkets using real shells that Brynn finds along beaches. How has that hands-on experience influenced the way you create, and how did you decide to use seashells in the first place?
I saw someone decoupage a seashell on TikTok, but it was one of those like really big fake scallop shells that you sell at Michael's, and it was very beautiful, but my first thought was, how much more special it could be if the shell was real. So the next time I went to the beach and I was wandering around looking at shells, I started collecting them, and then it's been my favorite hobby ever since. But it definitely has turned more into an obsession than a hobby, because I have so many like decorations in my room that are like shells, coastal. I have like a phone case that has shells on it, a notebook. Like, Shells by Brynn is like a part of my life now, and it's kind of crazy. Since that obsession, I started traveling to different beaches along the East Coast that had like different types of shells, because they only have like the standard like clams, oysters, scallops, mussels in like Jersey beaches. But then like as far as you go, like further you go down, they have like a bunch of different cooler ones. Eventually, that passion turned into my business, and it's crazy that it just came from like that one small video on TikTok to kind of jumpstart my business. And going off of what Ryan said about like the bulk order, the largest order that I've ever gotten was only like 15 for like bridesmaids, but honestly, it's not stressful at all. It's actually quite calming. I just listen to a podcast or TikTok in the background, and I just get to work. And if I'm making like a bulk order of all the same patterns, it makes it so much easier. So if anyone needs any bulk orders, please DM me.
Yes. You'd think it would be stress-free. Like, you're right, you're making the same one over and over again. So I was surprised to hear, I think it was the 120 number for this in our situation, that she just, and I guess, I don't know, I think it was because it was a wedding favor. She felt like so much pressure from it.
It's true.
But 15 seems like the sweet spot. I would stay in that in that area of things, definitely.
That's so cool that a big part of your brand story is the process, because I think that's true for a lot of our creators, is that it's not just the act of selling something, but it's a lot about the passion behind it and, the inspiration of where that craft started. So I love hearing that.
Personally, I think the process is the most important part of any business. And for me, that starts with collecting the shells. And that's the part I enjoy the most throughout this entire process. And it's what makes my brand unique and one that stands out compared to every other one, because I'm not just ordering a bunch of shells online. I go to the beach and I pick them up. And sometimes that takes hours, or sometimes I get lucky and I find an inlet where there's a bunch of different shells. And that's what makes it so much fun. But this process has taught me that creating takes time, care, and intention. And when people buy my products, I want them to think beyond the shell itself. I want them to think of the story behind each one, like where it came from, the time that it took me to search for these shells, and the story that it carries with them from the beach to their hands. And if you looked under my bed right now, you'll see my entire napkin collection. I have a lot. I have a lot. It's definitely grown into an obsession rather than a hobby.
Next, we have to talk about your Instagram, because I love your social media. You are super consistent. You have a wide variety of content. Some of my favorite posts on your Instagram are your creative graphics that show off some of your designs. I love your reels of you at the beach collecting the shells, and even photos of customers holding your products. How do you keep inspiration for staying consistent on social media? And do you have any tips for other small business owners who want to reach that next step?
I think at first it started with me just trying to promote the products. That's kind of how I started doing those graphics with the different patterns, to showing the different patterns that I have. But then I kind of realized that the process is a really important part of the business. So that's when I tried to do the reels and stuff like that. But I originally started because I followed a bunch of other accounts on Instagram that are similar to mine, post similar types of content, and also kind of in like the coastal side of crafts. And what they post has helped guide me in deciding what types of content I wanted to post as well. Their posts kind of inspired me to think, like I said, beyond the finished products and start diving into the process itself. And based on those pages, I decided to weave in more of the full process of my brand, not just the products. And like that includes sharing moments of me collecting shells, like I've posted on the reels, exploring different beaches, and the steps that it takes to create each one, like cleaning them, assembling all of my products, and I want my content to match my brand and reflect the story behind each piece. But I've been super grateful that I've been able to attend some of the student-made content sessions because they've allowed me to take high-quality photos of my products. And not only can I use them on my social media, but I also have gotten features on the student-made page and my campus's page as well. I don't have a camera, but I just try to take good-ish quality photos with a nice background. I remember in the summer, I brought all of my shells to my aunt's house in coastal Delaware. I was with her the entire summer, and she had this really pretty, like, leafy bush outside of her house. So the day before I left, I literally just took every single one of my shells and I held it up to the bush and I just rapid fire, like boom, boom, boom. And now I have all of those product pictures in my camera roll ready to post whenever I need them.
That's awesome. Use what you have, right?
I know. Now it's kind of sucks because we just went through a really harsh winter, especially in Virginia with all the snow. So not many pretty bushes. So I kind of have to just go with my desk or some nice like JMU backgrounds. But a piece of advice that I would have for fellow creators would be to just capture all of the elements about what makes your brand unique and just start documenting like videos of what you've already done. It becomes much easier to stay consistent and create meaningful content. And that mindset also makes it feel much more natural. And that's kind of how I've gotten into showcasing. Obviously, I still showcase my product, but more of the process as well.
I was just gonna ask about what you're talking about, like being winter in Virginia, but having this like very coastal shell, beachy type of product. I'm thinking like that's got to be tricky because you spend most of the year in Virginia, not really near the coast at all, right? You're in Harrisonburg, that's like mountains, Virginia. So that's interesting. So you kind of spend the summer getting your content in a way, and then like have it built up to use throughout the school year.
Yeah, and I really kind of took off my social media like this semester or like this year, my senior year. And so I don't really have a lot of like process pictures that I have saved. So I'm really looking forward to the summer when I kind of have a better footing and kind of know what types of pictures I want to post. I've kind of been saving a lot of inspiration ideas, like product pictures and also like process pictures. So hopefully when I go to the beach, I'll just kind of pull out my phone and be like, okay, this is what I want to do. This is what I want to take, and have everything ready for the winter and the colder months. Yeah,
like thinking ahead. That really, that's an interesting way. It really makes you think ahead for your content.
Yeah, it really does.
Because you're like, I don't live at the beach. I can't just go out when I get a spontaneous idea of like a content. Yeah. It's got to be deliberate. Maybe James Madison has like an outdoor volleyball court, sand. I'm thinking just like anything to kind of get that beachy feel, at least from
honestly, you're right. They do. They do. I've never thought about that, but I think I might have to bring some of the shells that I currently have and go over to the fake sand court and take some pictures.
Yes.
Or buy one of the little like kitty stand boxes on the go.
Anything for the business.
Bring sand with you anywhere, especially from like a up top aerial shot. Like you only need about 1 square foot of sand and it looks like you're at the beach.
I'll just have to bring a friend with me next time because if someone sees me doing that by myself, I'm gonna look kind of crazy.
Oh, it's okay. Hey, entrepreneurs, that's the way it goes. You are crazy. Just accept it. People who follow you and buy from you are in it for the story of like what your brand is about. And so the fact that you're like walking the beach, exploring beaches all along the East Coast, like documenting your adventures there, your travels, it's showing so much more of what goes into it and like how it's also a big part of your life. So like you as the creator doing something that is really started as just a hobby that you love. I feel like that's the advantage of small creators like that.
And like also no two shells are the same. So like I kind of have to move past like, oh, it's not perfect. Like there's a crack in here. There's like an edge that's kind of like weird looking. Like they're real. Like you kind of, that's what you expect when you buy one. Like that's why like at the end of like every one of my listings on Student Made, I say like, no, like each shell is like unique in its own way. Like something like that. Cause like that's also part of the brand. They're not the same.
Yeah, so true. So, Brynn, before we move on to our next brand of the day, favorite products that you want to shout out? If people, I'm sure, right after listening to this, are going to go to your collection on the JMU site.
Yes.
What are your favorite products you want to call out?
I will always have a soft spot for my clamshell trinket dishes because that's kind of how I got started. That's what I saw on TikTok about 2 years ago. And then since then, I've kind of progressed. But I love my decoupage oyster shell frames. I have 2 available right now, but I'd love to make more. I have one available in a blue toile pattern and then one in a pink toile pattern. I also love my shell gnomes because they use just a lot of different materials like wine corks, fabric scraps, beads, faux fur, and then obviously seashells. And yeah, you can find all these products on my Instagram, Shells by Brynn, my student made page, and my Etsy shop. Yeah.
Cool, awesome. And you just got really put on the spot saying seashells. Luckily there wasn't another S in there, but Sally sells seashells by the seashore, right?
Yeah, true that.
Follow Brynn, shop her products on Instagram, Shells by Brynn, studentmadejmu.com. We will move on to our second brand of the day, Land O'Lakes Vintage, founded by Landon Lucero Jr. at Winthrop University. So we actually just had another episode just come out with Trey O'Toole. He's a creator at Oklahoma State University. He founded a vintage company called Threefold Vintage. I don't think he's too much of a competitor with you though, Landon. I wouldn't feel threatened. He's way over in Oklahoma. He's got his market. He's very campus themed, Oklahoma State gear, which is a bit different than you. But anyway, would just recommend checking that episode. It was a good one with Trey. So we are going to dive into a bit of your brand, Landon, Land O'Lakes Vintage.
Yeah, let's do it. Landon offers everything from t-shirts to sweatshirts to pants and a lot more. Basically everything you can imagine in between that. Your focus is more so on keeping fashion affordable while also reducing waste. Can you talk a little bit about why that mission is important to you and how it has shaped the way you run your business?
Yeah, so in a day and age where fast fashion is just such a large thing, people often don't go to the mall anymore, don't buy nicer quality products because they're more expensive when they can buy something new for $5 online. So it's kind of become a thing where fashion just keeps changing and it's all these new fast fashion trends. But almost every fashion trend that's happened so far has also happened earlier on. Like now we are seeing Y2K come back around and the 90s come back around. So all those clothes are just coming back. And that's my mission, to provide those to, I would say my target audience is a lot of, more college students, more high school students. And being able to provide that and at a price that's competitive with fast fashion, it's better all around.
That's awesome. So, something unique about being a creator at Student Made Rock Hill, it is our very first citywide partnership. So, Student Made Rock Hill highlights Winthrop University students and soon going to also feature other schools in that region. A part of this partnership is also a retail location in downtown Rock Hill called the Hickory Post. How has having the opportunity to have your products in a physical store and highlighted in pop-ups across the community impacted your business?
It's impacted my business in so many ways. I used to do only online sales through Depop and eBay, and now having the opportunity to have a physical store, I feel like it's making myself and my products more noticed. Being able to go downtown Rock Hill and do a pop-up and have my friends come and actually be able to see my products like in the flesh. And one of the best things about the Hickory Post store is, instead of when someone's interested in seeing my products, instead of them sending them to a website or having them wait until I have a pop-up, I get to tell them, you can go right downtown and check them out in the Hickory Post. So that's driven up a lot of my sales too. It's just a great way to be more involved with the Rock Hill community because I love Rock Hill. So it's been very nice.
I feel like I remember a story of you maybe setting up your clothing in the Hickory Post, and didn't someone buy something before you were even officially open?
Yes.
That's awesome. Yeah, I can imagine I think Student Made Rock Hill is so cool and unique because you have that chance to be like right in the heart of the community, which is so important. And like you said, you also have the chance to obviously get your target audience of like college students on campus, but to also be able to connect to the local community who can want to support students who are also in their community is really exciting. And it gives you a chance to get your brand out there to more than maybe what you think is your target audience and to reach people that would have never known about your brand before.
Totally. What I wanted to shout out here was just going off of your point, Liz, about the Hickory Post and Rock Hill. So it's a city funded and city led initiative, which is really neat. And so, yes, they've gotten students into a retail store, the Hickory Post. It's this ginormous 3-level old building retail store downtown, and at all kinds of city events, St. Patrick's Day Festival, Christmas Fest, you name it, Student Made Rock Hill seems to be there. So we do want to, of course, thank Rock Hill, and it's the Economic Development Corporation of Rock Hill that's really responsible. And to me, just what stood out, and I'm like, okay, what's the advice for other brands here, for like other creators? I feel like this just goes to show how supportive communities are of small businesses, which is just like a great takeaway. Like if you are in college, or even if you're beyond college, like young adult creator, entrepreneur, like making connections with your local city or with like other local businesses can go so far. Very cool to, get embedded in the community more of Rock Hill while you're a student there. And there's also just, I feel like the big point here is like how much this has connected students with their local town. Like you don't hear about that a lot. Brynn, I don't know what Harrisonburg is like. It's like if students go there.
We have a nice downtown area, but we haven't done like pop-up shops there because like it's definitely like a more established store for upscale businesses.
Gotcha. Okay. So it hasn't really, because I feel like this would be a great option for James Madison and Harrisonburg to kind of, if anyone from the city of Harrisonburg is listening, this is a good model. The Rock Hill model, it could work. It could be great. Think about it. I just feel like, Landon, you are a brand. You just yourself, you're just such a brand, and what style you go for too. So you have the Nirvana shirt behind you. I feel like most of your finds are like bands, or like, I don't know, how would you describe your kind of like go-to style there with your vintage?
Yeah, so all my stuff, I usually pick up anything that I find that's vintage, like that's worth money.
Okay.
But I tend to lean more towards like band t-shirts, stuff with like skulls and stuff, a little more on the alternative side and stuff.
Gotcha. Okay. I was gonna say, I don't know if goth was the right term for that. I don't really know what goth even means.
Yeah.
Besides like black tones.
I feel like alternative's a good descriptor.
Alternative. Okay. I know there's a creator from Rock Hill that's like very goth centric.
Oh yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, Saber.
Saber is her name. Yeah. Okay, so alternative, what 80s, 70s bands, that kind of thing.
I like the Misfits. I think they have like a super cool like just like aura around them,
Yeah.
Misfits are cool.
The Misfits. Yeah.
I don't know. I like everything.
So what is I know I saw on Instagram you have like a tagged or pinned post of like a skull, and you said like never selling this one.
Yeah.
What is that considered? Is that alternative? What's like the genre that skulls fall into? Skull and crossbones.
I'm not too sure. I just think they just like float around everywhere.
They're just like a thing of their own. Yeah, because I don't know. I'm like, no, skull and crossbones is not really goth. I wouldn't really. Maybe it overlaps with that, but I don't know like how you'd really categorize it.
Yeah, I don't know either. I'm all over the place. Like some days I'll be wearing like 1970s bell bottoms and like a bomber jacket, and the other days I'm wearing like spikes and looking all emo.
So I'm sure you have like super cool fashion then.
Yeah, he does. He does. He rocks it, and he's like, yeah, it's so unique, it's so cool. Okay, Brynn, questions for you. One, you said New Jersey. Are you from Jersey?
I'm from Pennsylvania, but there's no beach in Pennsylvania except just a bunch of lakes. But my best friend, she's a house in Lavalette, which is like somewhere in Jersey, and then Island Beach State Park is like the closest like state park near Lavalette, and they have a bunch of different clamshells. Like literally, like the last time I went, I got like 5 big bags, and I haven't even run out yet. So I'm gonna have to take this trip this summer. It does cost like $20 to get in, but the return on investment is fantastic.
Right, exactly. That's your material cost. So that's fine.
It is. And the fact that they're all like natural, like it definitely saves me a lot on my supplies.
Totally. Are there any laws around this, like taking them from beaches? Do you know, or are they totally?
As long as there's like no like living animals inside.
Yeah,
and they're all good. Totally fine. Because also there's a bunch of other businesses like me.
Wow. So, okay.
Yeah.
We were just we have a trip coming up in a couple months when the student made school year's over. We're going to this island in the Caribbean called St. Vincent and the Grenadines. I don't know if you've heard of it. But we were just watching this video on it the other day, and there was this I guess this place that's kind of become famous, and it's called Happy Island, and it's like right in the middle of the bay, and it's this guy who built I guess the first man-made island out of shells. It was made out of conch shells. So I guess it's like conch capital of the world or something, and there's just conch shells everywhere. So he like built an island, and then he grows it every year, and he put a bar on it, and now like the people on like their sailboats out in the bay who like sail to the Caribbean, they like take their dinghies in and go to this Happy Island, and
that's actually like my dream. Oh my god.
So you could,
and I was supposed to go to, well, I broke my ankle in January, so I've been like pretty careful like walking wise.
Oh.
But one of my friends, she invited me to go to Sanibel Island in Southwest Florida, which, if you know, that's like known as the shell capital of the world. And I was so excited because she has a house there. But I didn't think it'd be smart for my ankle. But maybe like after graduation, like my parents will get me a Sanibel Island trip for like graduation present.
Maybe that'll be your business headquarters when you go full time with this thing.
Stop. I would love that. I would love to live at the beach. Oh my goodness.
Then your content is right there whenever you want it. You're like, oh, exactly. I got an idea. I'm at the beach. Do you
an island made of conch shells.
An island made of conch shells. Yeah, random connections, but made me think of that. Okay, so you're from Pennsylvania. You go to Jersey Shore, Lavalette. I know Lindsay knows Lavalette. She took me to the Jersey. She's a Jersey girl. Cape May. That's the only place on the shore I've been. I think it's the very end.
Lavalette's more north.
Okay. So what does the future look like for Shells by Brynn besides your headquarters in Sanibel Island someday? Is this like always going to be a side hobby project, like side hustle thing, or do you think you could like really get in stores, maybe have your own store, have your own website?
I would love to keep doing this after college. It's going to be so hard without Student Made because I've relied on Student Made for all the Wednesday farmers markets. Mm-hmm. But knowing that I don't really know where I'm going to be after college, I just got an offer to be in Texas and just for the summer, and then I'd be moved to Virginia. So obviously there's not many beaches over there or where I'd be. I'd like to continue it because, again, it is a hobby in addition to like my business. But maybe I'll just hit new markets in Texas and Virginia, and then spread the passion to other people. It's hard for me to even think long term about having like a store or something. But right now, my focus is just on reaching new people, growing my social media following, and getting the word out.
Future question for Landon. I guess just open-ended. What does the future of Land O'Lakes Vintage ideally look like for you as your Big Four accounting firm, hopefully, and doing your vintage on the side? How do you see the balance of that?
I see myself in the future collecting. I don't know because being in a Big Four accounting, that's a like 60-hour work weeks, and trying to get my CPA, which is like studying after work and stuff. So selling might have to be on hold, but I will never stop collecting vintage t-shirts. I mean, vintage t-shirts are always going to be in my closet, but the selling part might be on a break for a little second.
So you love accounting that much to do it 60 hours a week?
The exit opportunities are phenomenal.
Oh my goodness. Bless you. Wow. Well, I guess you must be good at it, evidently. Would you say you enjoy vintage or accounting more?
Definitely vintage. Vintage is definitely a lot more fun and a lot more enjoyable. the stability of accounting, being able to, I can work 3 years in a big four, transfer out, and then work
Yeah.
from home, travel, make good money. That's the part of it that keeps me going.
That's not a bad plan. So we were asking Trey, the last episode that I mentioned, Trey from Oklahoma, his business. I asked how many sales roughly he thinks he's had all time. And I was guessing he was going to say like 300 or 400. He's had 20, roughly, it was like a rough estimate, about 3,000 sales.
Nice.
All time. And so we were doing the math on it. And I'm like, okay, so your average product is like $30. So it came out to $87,000 was like his. And I'm like, what? Like, you were making real dough.
What did he sell?
Vintage stuff like Landon.
Oh,
Yeah.
Like, but it's all Oklahoma State gear. So like he goes to Goodwill, a few other places, and he gets like vintage OK State football, like basketball stuff. And so I'm like, you could probably really, especially with the Brynn has the lowest material cost of anyone for free, finding shells for free. But vintage isn't much worse. Like $1, $2, $3 you're finding these shirts for, and you can sell them for as, I don't know, that shirt behind you, the Nirvana, what would that retail at?
I sold this one for 125.
What?
wow.
So, yeah.
Okay, I was not expecting that. I thought you were gonna say 30, 40, maybe 50. So where do you get the value for that? How do you come up with that?
Just whatever people are willing to pay. If you go on like eBay, which is what most sellers do, they go on eBay and see what it's sold for on there, and that's what they're usually priced it at. So this shirt has sold for like upwards of $200, but mine didn't have a tag, so I have to do a little discount.
So is it kind of like artwork where it's like, although that usually says how many are out there, we'll say like 10 out of 100. How do you know how many shirts are out there like this? And I guess it gets more valuable the lower quantity that there is?
Yeah, like there definitely are like rarer shirts and less rare shirts, but I wouldn't say it's like known. It's just like how often they come around in the market. Like,
yeah,
I think the older stuff is like definitely the more rare because it gets lost. So like your 1930s Levi's that go for like $20,000, you know.
Wow, it's amazing the brand, the value of a brand like that, like Levi's. Man, that one would really stink to shrink in the wash.
Yeah.
$120 t-shirt. You're like, wow, that would
Just make sure to air dry it every single time.
Yeah.
I would air dry it. I would dry clean the thing. It's like a classic car, like such delicate care.
Yeah.
Almost as delicate as making a decoupage shell.
Yeah, I just never heard of someone like do this for a business, but I'm glad it's been working out. The fact that you have your products in a store, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. I would say go to Charleston. That's where I live. Charleston has some good beaches. Go some shells.
Oh yeah, that's where we are. Come see us, Brynn. And Landon's from here too.
That's quite far. TBD though. I'm always on the hunt for new beaches, but like specific ones. Don't just say like, oh, like Charleston. Like I need a specific
beach. Well, the thing about Charleston is we don't have a lot of shells, Landon, or rocks.
True.
Isn't that true?
Yeah.
See, then I'm not wasting my time there.
Yeah.
Strictly for business.
Fair enough. Yeah, that's a business. Yeah, don't come here for business. Although, what do we have, Landon? I know in Charleston, the Battery is called White Point Park because I guess it used to be all white shells. Ooh. So actually, I think I stand. We don't have rocks, but we do have shells because.
Well, good thing I'm not a rock collector.
Yeah, don't come here for rocks.
I do collect sea glass though. I have a few pieces of those. That's pretty hard to find, especially like I only have like clear brown and like greens, and I have one that's like turquoise. Okay. But like blues, amber, darker colors are harder to find.
Okay. Well, if we find a beach with great shell opportunities, we will let you know. I don't know anymore if like they're out and about. I know White Point Park definitely was oyster shells. I think Charleston's an oyster place, isn't it?
Yeah.
I should know that, but
I have plenty of oysters. I stayed with my aunt this summer in coastal Delaware.
Oh, so you've been there.
And I also worked for a company that we set up picnics on the beach. So on like my times that I wasn't working, but I was still like on the clock, I was just going up and down looking for oyster shells.
So I think the lady I mentioned who did our wedding ones, I think she got them shipped in from Oregon, and supposedly they're giant oysters in Oregon, like mega. So maybe that's your next trip, West Coast.
Oregon.
Yeah, Oregon. Don't know what it is about the oysters out there, but they're eating good or something.
I do have a really big, there's like this size oyster shell. It's on my Instagram, and my aunt won't stop bugging me about it. She wants it. But then I also have another big one, also like that size, that I put my business cards on for pop-ups.
If you find like a really rare size, you could just take the Landon method. Like this one's $120. Like supply and demand.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, because when I was like, oh, like I don't know, like $18, my friends were like, no, that is worth so much more.
Yeah, it's all the story. This one is from Oregon. I went out there specifically to get it. I have to factor in my travel costs of $1,000 to get out there.
A hotel.
This shell is $2,000 if you want it.
Basically.
Okay, last question before our signature question. What has been? How do I ask this? I know you probably don't know like your exact sales, but like, what does the scope of your business look like? I guess in terms of like hours per week you're putting into it. Sales roughly. What are the most effective sales methods for you? A day in the week of Land O'Lakes Vintage and Shells by Brynn.
So I've taken a break on doing the pop-ups and just putting a lot into Hickory Post restocking. And then I have also been doing online, like Depop again. So usually I'll go to the gym right after. I'll go to the thrift store that's right next door, do some thrifting. On the weekends I'll go thrift. And then I think usually Mondays and Tuesdays I'll take photos and post online. So I'd say about like a good 5 hours a week.
5 hours a week. And how many vintage clothing items do you think you would sell in an average week? Or how many would you aim to sell?
Aim to sell? I hope for like 15, 20 things a week. If I
that's pretty good.
When I do...
That's fantastic.
When I stay consistent with like online selling, it picks up. Like,
yeah.
The other week, I made like $400 just that week.
Dang. Wow. So it's very like... however much you feel like giving to it that week, you're going to kind of get back, but you can like take weeks off.
Yeah.
That's cool that it's like that immediate. Like, okay, I'm going to put some more time and effort into it. Boom, $400 a week. And having the Hickory Post to kind of run your sales for you is that's a great asset. Brynn, customers, are students your main customers? You mentioned the Wednesday farmers markets. How many shells is Brynn liable to sell on a typical Wednesday farmers market?
It depends. Fall semester is definitely a lot busier than spring. Also, we had our first spring one last week, so not a lot of people knew about it, but I'm hoping as the semester continues, more people will know. But it's my goal to sell 15 to 20 per farmer's market. Last week I was a little under because not a lot of people knew about it.
Yeah.
But also I just added shell magnets to the website. So that's hopefully something that will get people to come in. I also added my bracelets. I make beaded bracelets. I know that's not shells, but I got a lot of compliments on them, so I wanted to put those on as well. So again, hopefully I'll bring in more sales that way. But I also have 2 other jobs right now, so I haven't been able to give my business as much attention as I had hoped to. But for me, if I'm making even one shell, I'm not going to sit down and make one because the process takes a while.
Right.
I mean, Mod Podge takes a while to dry, then I have to do another layer, then I have to do the gold layer. So I feel like I would do 10 at once, which usually takes 2 to 3 hours in one sitting.
Okay.
But again, that's fun to me. But then the farmer's market is 9 to 3 every Wednesday. So, plus I do, I try to post once or twice a week.
Yep.
So I'd say 8 to 10 hours.
Yeah. Yeah, you guys both have good looking Instagrams. You guys are pretty consistent, and that's, of course, you'll hear that in every episode of our top brands. It's social media, really prioritizing that. As far as the enjoyable parts, there's a lot of things to enjoy about, for Landon, it's digging through vintage bins at Goodwill. For you, it's walking the beach. For you, sitting down and spending 3 to 4 hours doing the Mod Podge and doing the steps. It's cool how you can kind of factor in your chill time, solo time into your business. Sweet. Okay, so final question for you guys, our signature making a creative question. A 60-second moment, roughly 60 seconds, doesn't have to be exact. moment that for you kind of stands out in your memory of like representing what your brand is most about to you and what matters most to you.
Okay, I go because I was thinking about this when I saw you put that question. I was like, I don't even know how to answer this, but
hey, we aim for the stumpers here on making it creative.
Yeah, you really hit hard there. But since I talked about the process, I wanted my answer to be process related. So if I could really encapsulate my business in like 60 seconds, it would be from a trip that I took last spring break to Carolina Beach. I went by myself for 3 whole days, got a hotel room, drove to the inlet almost every single day, walking up and down the shore just looking for shells. And I remember the moment that I finally reached the inlet after walking like 2 miles just down the shore, and there were shells absolutely everywhere. And this trip just reminded me to kind of be more intentional, slow down, and find the beauty in things that are often overlooked, like little shells. And the fact that I was able to go on this vacation doing something I loved by myself, it just filled me with so much happiness and like tranquility.
Yeah.
And that's exactly how I want my pieces to feel, because every shell I collect goes back to moments like this, where again, it's not just about the final product, but the experience and meaning behind all of it.
Wow, super well said. That was beautiful. Yes, and exactly what we were talking about, customers getting to bring that experience into their lives when they buy a shell, you know? It's not Amazon. Yeah. Okay, and your signature question, Landon, your 60-second moment, do you have one?
Yes, so it was actually at a student-made pop-up. This girl was going through my racks and pulled out a shirt, and she looks behind her, she's like, "Dad." And he, like, his eyes just light up, and he's like, "Oh my gosh." And it's a photo, it's a t-shirt that he used to wear all the time as, like, when he was younger. And
wow.
They, like, immediately were all like, "No way." It was like a 1999, like, Yankees t-shirt.
Yeah.
And they bought it off me, and they were like, "There's no way you had this." Like, there's a photo framed in our living room of me wearing this. And I just like that full circle, you know, like,
yeah.
Connecting him back with this t-shirt that's been long lost. I thought that was super cool.
I can't even imagine what that would feel like to, like, find a shirt that you actually once owned.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't, like, it would have to be something vintage, I guess, especially going back to 99. But, like, I've had some shirts that I loved and they disappeared. I don't know if that happens to you guys, like the mysterious disappearing clothes. Like, where did that shirt go? Like, I'll see it in a picture and I'm like, I don't have that anymore. If I came across it, like an exact, you know, especially if it's something unique, like of a band or like a place I went to, I'd be like, it would seem like too good to be true. Like, where on earth did this come from? I'd pay any, you know. Immediate buy. Any price. Name your price, Landon. Some amazing takeaways we heard today. Again, find our podcast on our website, studentmadestore.com, as well as Apple, Spotify, and Amazon. You can expect more episodes like this one with our monthly top brands, as well as a monthly message from our Student Made co-founder, Lindsay, on tips and insights for small business founders. And then we'll also have some deeper stories into the journeys of some of our student and alumni founders. As far as next month, we actually have another James Madison student. We have Julia Kelly, founder of Shop Julia Kelly. She has been with Student Made for several years now, and we're going to do a deep dive into her founding story, how her campus has influenced her business over the past few years, what she's looking ahead to for the future of her creative venture. So we hope to see you there, and until then, make it creative. And Brynn's going to the Masters, so have a spectacular time there.
Thank you.
What do you do there?
I'm serving.
Serving, like waitress serving?
Yeah, I'm in the craft Italian kitchen place in Berkman's Place.
Okay. And how'd you land that job? Not to ask you one more question on this.
I'm in the Heart School at JMU, which is Hospitality and Sports and Rec, and they do their own private funding every year, and a big portion of it allows for students like me to go to the Masters and pays for the Airbnb and travel and food and stuff like that. And I was one of like 16 people that were chosen at JMU.
Bring some shells. You got a good clientele there.
I'm not gonna have any sort of time. My hours are 9 a.m. to 8 p.m.
Like here is your pimento cheese sandwich, and would you like to buy a shell today? What is the shell? Oh my gosh. So what does the shell look like? So what does the future of Shells by Brynn look like?
And like putting like, what's the word? Like
Mosh Posh?
no, like when you like where you're putting things together. It's there's a certain word for that.
Montage.
No, like you put like assemble. Yes.
Oh, you meant
Where
like
was I
physics.
going with
Got
that?
it. Okay.
I don't remember where I was going with that.
We were all at a loss. Liz.
You said March and I said April. Top brands.
Oh.
Which is it?
The behind the scenes of a podcast. Now you know.
You should make like a blooper video.
See what I did there?